Unless you live under a rock, you know that a little game called Astro Bot won Game of the Year at the 2024 Game Awards. So here's a question for you. If a platformer like Astro Bot was voted as the best game of all of 2024, how do the platformers that came out in the same year stack up? Well, that's what I'm here to find out. To do that, I'm going to platinum and rank not just Astro Bot, but 5 more of the freshest platformers. Since I'm playing them in the order they released, I'm starting with Penny's Big Breakaway is a kinetic 3D platformer developed by Evening Star. The studio started by a few former Sonic Mania devs that wanted to try making something new. And let me tell ya, Christian Whitehead is at least 2 for 2 when it comes to making flavorful games in my book. Much like Mania, this game is oozing with passion, impressive art direction, banger soundtrack, and enough movement tech to tickle even the smoothest of brains. I would know. But perhaps the most underrated aspect of the game is the story. Actually, it's probably properly rated. It's really simple exposition, but it's just enough to get the game going and keep things moving at a solid pace. It starts with our hero, Penny, finding an enchanted yo-yo that goes by the name of Yo-Yo, and entering a talent show being hosted and judged by Emperor Eddie. And since Penny is special, she gets to cut the line and flex on the Emperor. Except, things have to go wrong because, of course they do. We need drama. And that drama is caused by Yo-Yo going off the leash and unrobing Eddie, exposing his tighty-whitey to the crowd of citizens. Self-conscious and embarrassed, Eddie sicks his penguin army on Penny, and I need to guide her big breakaway. It's almost like it's the name of the game or something. And this is where the game drops you off and lets you have some fun. There's platforming, there's movement, there's coins, there's collectibles, there's quests, there's speedrunning, there's power-ups, there's a bonus minigame at the end of every level, and there's trophies. 31 to be exact, earned for doing various things like completing certain parts of the story, completing tasks in certain levels, and finding all of the collectibles. What's that? Want some examples? I mean, first trophy I got was for completing the prologue without falling off. So I beat the you fell off allegations already. I then shook off 4 penguins, which leads me to explain the whole penguin mechanic. Remember how I mentioned that Eddie sent his penguin army to chase after you for your crimes? Well, essentially, you're just constantly running from the penguins. It really gives you a sense of panic and constant motion. And if 5 of the little suckers jump onto you, it's GG's. So the fact that I got 4 off my back at once, clutch. I then unlocked a handful of story-related trophies and ball-related trophies, before finally completing a perfect busker bonus. This is the end of level bonus that I mentioned earlier, and believe me when I say that I got it on my first try. What? What? You didn't give me a chance. What? Was that not a circle? Does this game not understand what a circle is? No, dude, the circles. My controller sucks for this. My controller's been getting such bad stick drift recently. I think that might be what's actually just like ending it for me. What? I hit right. I swear to God. I hit right on my left stick. What do you mean? Dude, my left stick, I think, is literally making this impossible. I legit did nothing. My thumb is just holding the left stick in a neutral position. See, that's how I know that my controller sticks are goofy right now. Someone please send me a controller. Say nice things about it probably if you send me it doesn't stink. God dude, this controller. My left stick is broken. Oh no. Our table is broken. Did I just do it? Thank God, finally, dude. And that's basically what the initial playthrough is like. I learned the mechanics, went really fast, collected what I could, hit a 100x combo just because I could, and wrapped up the story within 4 hours, which I'm not complaining about at all. I don't want to spoil too much, but there were a lot of cool moments and the gameplay just needs to be experienced to be best enjoyed. I really learned to love the game as I got good at it, even though I basically had to do a whole second playthrough just to pick up every showpiece, the collectibles, and Denizen Dilemma, a quest, and a total of 10,000 coins. I promise I didn't look up a video guide for all these collectibles and random trophies. I went to college. I don't need no walkthrough. And all that was left were the Star Globe levels, which I unlocked using all those showpieces I collected earlier. Long story short, the Star Globe levels are basically just little tech demos that became bonus stages. Each one highlights a different ability or power-up or feature and required me to master all 15 of them. It truly was the cherry on top of my whole playthrough up to this point. And after 10ish hours of gameplay, I popped the Platinum Trophy and called it a night. What? Got a 9 to 5 and a baby. I need my beauty sleep. And to boot up today's tier list, Pennies makes it into the A tier. We're starting out strong. Thank goodness. Hey, speaking of. Thank goodness you're here as a self-proclaimed comedy slapform. Yes, that's new to me too. And in this game developed by Cole Supper, you play as a traveling salesman that is eternally bound to completing randos' odd jobs, no matter how out of pocket they are.
Oh.
And trust me, some of them are pretty out of pocket. Oh yeah, and these randos are also very British. Almost forgot about that very important aspect. Now I don't want to spoil too much as I completed my initial playthrough in roughly 2 hours, but I do want to talk about the trophy list, because quite honestly, my favorite kind of trophy list. It's the type of list that favors players doing all that there is to be done in the game. Really rewards gamers for exploring all the nooks and crannies. Not only are PlayStation players rewarded with trophies, they're rewarded with peen jokes. No, like, seriously, this is a game about slapping big butts in a very consensual way. Like, besides running and jumping, slapping is about all you can do. Maybe a little grabbing here and there, but mostly slapping. And let me tell ya, that does lead to some chuckle-inducing moments. Like when you finally fix the fryer for the fish and chips and unlock a trophy.
Open for business.
Took a turn.
Morning.
Or when you slap all the right trash bags to make some rats sing. Or when you just slap a man taking a nap on the ground. He's totally fine, by the way. But I mean, it's just 33 trophies of ridiculousness. But in the best way. This game is actually pretty well made and the writing is overall very solid. It even gives you the option to have the characters speak in American English or British English, whether you realize it or not. I went with the American English because I'm not properly cultured. Again, there's too many goodies in the game for me to share them with y'all, so if you have 20 bucks and 2 to 4 hours to spare, definitely give this game a go. I will say that I did break the game once, but it was entirely my fault and I was able to boot things back up pretty quickly to get back to where I was. One quick caveat though, is that once you do complete a playthrough, you do have to start a brand new playthrough. So keep that in consideration when deciding if you want to platinum this game. I completed a casual playthrough in about 2 hours, playthrough for a single trophy in about 20 minutes, and a trophy cleanup playthrough in another almost 2 hours. You can decide if you want to use a guide to shorten the amount of playthroughs you'll have to put yourself through. You're an adult. And if you aren't, then maybe wait to buy this game. Behind the cutesy exterior, it is rated M for mature, and honestly, you would have to be above the age of 17 to understand most of the jokes in this game. But what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube talking about video games, so go live your life. That being said, here's my ranking of the game. B tier. If you like games like Castle Crashers or Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, there's a good chance you'll really enjoy this game. But if you're someone like me that can enjoy those types of games every once in a while, then it's a solid pickup. I heard a lot of good things about this game going into this journey, but honestly, $20 might be a little steep for a package this small. Just wait for it to go on sale. Then enjoy your 4 hours of British bathroom humor. You'll thank me later. Just like how you'll thank me for this next joke I'm about to make about the next game. Akimbot is a 3D action-adventure platformer that was heavily inspired by the glory days of everyone's favorite Lombax. Developed by Evil Raptor, I think this was the spot where I was supposed to make the aforementioned joke, but now I can't remember because it's been days in between my script writing. Please laugh anyways. In what was definitely the longest story so far in my challenge, I played as Exy, a wanted space mercenary, and was linked up with Shipset, a babbling petty thief drone, to form a dynamic duo that was tasked with saving the algorithm from evilware. No, seriously, the story literally wrote itself. It's a pretty linear experience that provides plenty of running, jumping, rocket boosting, shooting, box breaking, data hunting, and hacking minigames, among other things. If you want Ratchet & Clank, don't worry, we got it at home. And by it, I mean this game right here, for better and for worse. You see, outside of the occasional screen tearing and save point lag spikes I experienced, it's not a bad game by any means. It's actually a very well-crafted game with simple yet diversified action gameplay, solidly cheesy writing, a fun soundtrack, and memorable moments highlighted by a great trophy list. It's just that we already have like 20 years worth of Ratchet & Clank games. I know we aren't getting a ton of them anymore. Please, Insomniac. I know you're cooking something else at the moment, but please give us more Ratchet & Stank games. But it's going to be hard for anyone else to even try to compete, which is probably why this game didn't get a ton of press when it released. In the span of 9 hours, I explored so many intriguing planets, made friends with the locals, played Subway Surfers, fought Walmart Godzilla, fought the actual Godzilla, Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Explored the inner machinations of my mind, participated in capitalism, and found some collectibles. Per usual, I don't want to go too in-depth with things since it's a quick and easy experience, much like getting anything done at the DMV. But just know that if you've played more than one Ratchet & Clank game, then you've probably done everything in Akimbot at least once in your gaming career. Again, not a huge knock against the game itself. I just found myself getting sleepy during most of my play sessions. Maybe that's because I have a baby and I'm very sleep deprived. Nice, dude. Nice, dude. The world may never know. Lucky for me, the trophy cleanup after the initial playthrough wasn't that bad. I only had to grab 8 more collectibles and complete a variety of tasks to unlock the last few trophies, like cutting this wire, doing a double barrel roll, doing yet another Sonic impression. Seriously, if you know me, you know that I'm good at this now. And perfecting my Street Fighter strats. An hour and a half of grinding left me with a grand total of roughly 10-ish hours of gameplay, and another platinum trophy in my collection. If Akimbot didn't have any technical issues and had just a little more polish, I'd definitely put it in the A tier, but until the devs are able to provide that, I think I have to put it in the lower B tier. Again, this is not a bad game. I actually wound up having a lot of fun by the time I made it into the back half of the game. I showed my face when I did this. Look at this. Just to prove to y'all that, like, see, my phone's right here. I'm literally gonna take a picture because now, oh gosh, I gotta do math. These are 1 plus 1 plus 0, which is 2. So the code should be 852. Let's try this out. 852. Oh my goodness. I went to college. Yep. I went to college. Alright, this is my face playing the game. I want to go back to hiding now. I just can't rank it higher at its current state. If they ever do patch some things, I could easily be convinced to recommend it to anyone, but until then, maybe check out this other bot. Astro Bot is a game that needs no introduction. Seriously, I'm pretty sure just about every single Platinum Trophy YouTuber has made a video about this game. If you want a real in-depth playthrough of the game and series, make sure to check out Platinum Face's video about it. Can't confirm, is great. And just in case you do want a brief overview of the mechanics and narrative, Astro Bot follows the story of Astro restoring his PS5 spaceship after it was attacked by a squishy, weird alien man-child, aka an average Reddit mod. I'm sorry, that type of joke will never get old of me. And arguably the best part of the game is it feels just like Super Mario 64. Seriously, Team Asobi made a better Nintendo game than Nintendo. And so I was tasked with running, jumping, and collecting my way across the various galaxies of the game in hopes of finding all of the lost bots and parts from the ship. And that's how the gameplay loop grips you. Each galaxy has a few main stages, each full of hidden bots and puzzle pieces, a few side stages to be found and conquered, some much harder than others, but more on that later, boss stage, and a PlayStation franchise themed stage to top it off. As you play through the game, you'll unlock parts of the hub world using the bots, and various customization options using the puzzle pieces. Now, in terms of the Platinum Trophy experience, it was not too bad at all. Well, minus needing to complete some of the shape-based side stages. You'll see what I mean. Ah! How did I miss? Oh no. My perception of space is bad. Oh my god. Okay, I'm actually upset now. What? Why did I not launch off the freaking ramp? What's the point of a ramp if you don't launch off the ramp? Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, dude. Holy schmoly, brother. The game crashed. The game crashed. Oh no, dude. Look, I'm not going to complain too much because those really weren't that bad. Plus, if you replay a stage, you can pay to have a collectible radar, which can find anything and everything, including access to secret stages. And to round out the 44 trophy long list, I just had to complete a few random stage related tasks, goof off in the hub world, and complete a final challenge stage. Great Master Challenge. Oh no. Alright. Try me. No way, I got hit upside the head like that. Oh, wait, this one's not that bad though. For a master challenge, I'm not worried. Oh, maybe this was the challenge that people said they had. Okay, that really was not that bad though. My hands are a little sweaty, but not too bad. Incredible. Love that. After 14 hours, another platinum was on my shelf, but I couldn't just leave it there. I had 2 DLCs to complete. That's right, 3 updates with trophies have been added to the game at the time of recording in early February 2025. These devs know how to truly support a player base, unlike some other big companies. The first of these 2 trophy packs, Stellar Speedway, added 5 new levels to speedrun using some crowd favorite power-ups, and I, being the pro gamer that I am, totally did not struggle with any of these at all. What? I'm getting a hand cramp, dude. This sucks. Why the I'm sorry. I don't like this. Oh my god, dude, I'm going. No, I'm so freaking close. Okay, we're good. We're good. Holy moly, dude. Fast and found. Rescued all bots in Stellar Speedway. Holy moly, dude. My thumb hurts. Luckily for me, the second add-on was much easier to complete. Winter Wonder added some much needed holiday flair to the game and was a cute little addition. And while these 2 DLCs combined didn't add even an hour more of content to play, they did bump my trophy total up to 53 for the triple 100%. Still well worth it in my opinion. This is going to be the easiest ranking of this video for sure. S tier, no debate. Just about everything about this game is as close to perfect as we will ever get on PS5. This game is a love letter to the history of PlayStation and tapped into every era of the console. It was a blast to play. The amount of passion and research that went into making this game is so apparent. Oh man, I could keep going on, but I don't want to make this video all about Astro's latest adventure, especially when I have to talk about another young lad's journey to become a hero. The Plucky Squire is a mixed 2D and 3D action-adventure game developed by All Possible Futures. While the clear Legend of Zelda inspiration and charming art direction hooked me, certain parts of the Platinum Trophy process just absolutely wrecked my opinion of the game. Like Miley Cyrus wrecking ball to my brain wrecked. But let's start with some of the basics in case you don't know much about this game. So yes, after playing it, I wouldn't call it a platformer exactly, as the emphasis is definitely on the action and narrative, but there are still some platforming and puzzle sections that will require the brightest minds even to have a brain blast or 2 to progress through the story. And what is the story, you may ask? No one asked. Well, this game follows a plucky squire named Jot's story to defeat an evil mage set to conquer their world, which is contained in a book. They are quite literally storybook characters, and there is a meta moment or 2 in there because of it. Honestly, super clever writing all around, so my props to the writers there. While Jot and his friends are initially contained within the confines of 2 pages at a time, Jot gains the ability to travel out of the book and explore the writer's desk to obtain new abilities to stop the Mad Wizard, who I found out is actually just a bad writer. Like, spoiler alert, when he takes over the Squire's book and rewrites it to make it his own, the style changes so drastically that the human writer is said to lose inspiration and shelf the book entirely and pursue a desk job instead of create. Probably hits home a little too hard for some of you, huh? Not for me though, because I'm better. Just kidding, I actually have a 9 to 5 because my writing doesn't pay my bills quite yet. Anyways, the game is just a back and forth sequence between mashing square in a 2D action game to mashing square in a 3D action game. Seriously, the unlocked abilities don't really add a ton to combat sequences, and the collectibles don't really add it to anything either. So much so that the game doesn't even have a proper collectible tracker, which I'll bring back up later. Most of the game is actually spent just listening to the book's narrator, with a few word puzzles in between. Because of that, I'll say it was a solid 7 hours of lighthearted fun on my first playthrough. which brings me to my second playthrough for some trophy cleanup. You see, most of the trophies in this game are unlocked for hitting various milestones in the story, for playing around in the word puzzles, and for finding all the collectibles, of which there are two types, art scrolls and glitch birds, both of which are known to have trouble tracking, especially when using chapter select or reloading saves. This led me to say screw it and just play the entire game again, this time with a walkthrough to ensure I didn't miss anything. Seriously, if I would have had to play this game all the way through a third time, I would have screamed externally, not just internally like I did when I realized I had to replay the entire game just to get a few collectibles. Oh yeah, and all the cutscenes and dialogue are unskippable. Whoever decided that needs a stern talking to. But you know what? I did it. After a total of 13 hours, I obtained the Platinum Trophy and nearly deleted the game from my PS5. Seriously, again, great art style and direction, terrible and boring cleanup process. If I only had to do one playthrough with maybe some cleanup using level select, easy B tier. But due to the known glitches and my fear of running into those, I think I have to move the game to a C tier. Again, not an outright bad game, just a little too simplified and not fully working, which the devs have acknowledged. While I hate being overcritical on games like this, there is one thing I do love being. Squirrel with a gun. I do love being a squirrel with a gun. And this sandbox shooter slash puzzle platformer developed by DD Creations puts you in the shoes of a squirrel with a gun. You catching on to what this game is about yet? And I want to be honest here, I don't know how to expand on that, or if I even want to. Okay, well, I do want to because I need to make this video longer so YouTube can hit you with more ads and I can make more money. So guess where this game starts? With the squirrel trying to get a nut. It always goes back to that now, doesn't it? And that manages to piss off some sort of super secret agency, which is either actually very mysterious, or the game just absolutely fails to tell a story, even though over 100 people worked on this game, as evidenced by a trophy I'll have to get later. You be the judge. And in fighting off some suits, our friendly squirrel picks up some discarded weaponry and goes to town on some nerds. And that's basically the entire game for a few hours. Seriously, it's like if Goat Simulator had a third-person shooter mode built in. There's all sorts of random things to do around the town, including feeding the floor's lava, enjoying a barbecue, nice, crashing a wedding, driving a little car, just like all the cute little squirrels do, winning some boss battles, hitting the natural resources lottery. Oh my gosh, it's oil. Oil. I'm an oil squirrel. I'm an oil squirrel. An oil squirrel. An what? An oil squirrel. Oh my gosh. Taking out some goofy ragdoll dudes, making civilians drop their acorns, and going down a water slide or two. Sounds like an ideal Saturday to me. And the trophy list actually reflects a lot of those things that you get to do. You don't even have to collect all the golden acorns to unlock one of this game's 20 trophies. Now, if you don't explore and know exactly what to do, you could easily complete this game's story in under 2 hours. But like, half the fun is found in finding all of the random things to find. The other half obviously relates to being a squirrel with a gun. And sure, it may not be fully fleshed out, but that's definitely on purpose. We can all blame that on the rise of the slightly sophisticated brain rot that is simulator games out of the jump. None of these games thrive on narrative, graphics, or even good gameplay. It's all about the idea and how ridiculous the implementation is. So long as it doesn't suck to play. And boy, did some parts suck to play in my opinion. I know that's very subjective, and a lot of frustration can be easily avoided by pivoting your in-game activities and just taking the game for what it is. A measly 5 hours of uncontrollable Uzi recoil later, and I was able to pop the final Platinum Trophy of this challenge, which means I can move this title into the final tier spot of the day. C tier. Just not my cup of tea. Well, I honestly don't even know if I can say it's a good simulator or not, because I don't play simulators like this really at all. I like the idea, but the novelty just wore off real quickly for me as I went for the 100% completion according to PlayStation. Particularly on the last trophy I had to unlock for winning the credits minigame. Good riddance, rodent. And there we have it, folks. I actually feel pretty good locking in the tier list at this point, so let me know down in the comments what you think. Were there any other standout platformers released in 2024 that I missed? Well, I guess Shadow Generations came out, but I already platted that and put it in S tier in another video, which you can check out on the screen. But before you do that, make sure to drop a sub if you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it. I've got some big plans for 2025 and your support means a lot to me and my family. Just remember, you are loved and I appreciate you. Peace.